And now, coming to you from Resistance headquarters, it's Off the Grid with the music business heretic
Leslie Cross Jr.
and Marlon Hunsberry,
providing the information that you need to thrive as an independent, to build a pliable leverage and carve a true empowered success.
Knowledge equals empowerment, and empowerment equals freedom.
Welcome to part 2 of episode 4.
And that's what we need. We need the feedback. We need the intel. We're at Resistance headquarters figuring it out.
You know, that's an off-the-grid point that we like to make, is that you also are fighting for your freedom.
For your freedom. Mm-hmm. It's fundamental. But okay, now, Hunsberry, let me ask you this question, because I remember you saying something to me to the effect that Mint Condition had a choice to go back on the grid, but then they decided, no, we're going to stay off the grid. Let break it down to us.
Yeah, well, basically, they had offers from other major labels, and they made a conscious decision to say, look, we're going to just try to put this thing together ourselves, and they formed Cagebird Records.
Cagebird Records, man, I'm feeling that name.
Cagebird, yeah, if you think about that, they were caged.
That's
it. Fit into a box.
That's subliminal, man.
Yeah, exactly. So they really feel that, but now, they're free, and they can do what they want, and the component that they look for now is what other people they can possibly team up with to service the record.
Yeah, okay.
So they got with Image, which is a marketing company.
Talk to me.
To help market.
Man, that's strategic.
But they getting all their money now.
Man, tactical. See, off the grid does not mean that you just go in a cave. Off the grid means that you just partner up. You do it creatively, but you do it in a sense and in a way that you maintain control over your art.
Yeah, and they do own their master.
So, Mint Condition, Mr. Hunsberry, is our off the grid soldier, all right, for this episode. For this episode, the dip we want to talk about is the fact that we did not feel like doing the show last week. I mean, everything that could come against us, short of death, came against us.
Illness.
Marlon and my staff and myself, we have been just working around the clock. We've got a lot of stuff going on, a lot of responsibilities. We all do. Okay, I'm not trying to say that we're the only ones busy. But for us, it's just been off the chain. And trying to get this show in on last week was just next to impossible. We scheduled it for Monday. Something happened. We scheduled it for Tuesday. Something happened. Wednesday, Thursday. Don't even think about it, okay? So Friday hits. Marlon and myself are looking at each other. It's like, Hunsberry, man, we got to get the show done.
Come on, man.
We just pushed. We just had to do it. So, man, I'm telling you, at 5, I think it was like 5:30 p.m. last Friday.
Yes.
Okay, now check this out. Check this scene out. Everybody else is going home. Everybody else is getting ready to enjoy their weekend, all right? Me and Hunsberry, we don't feel good. We sick, we tired, but we in the lab getting ready to do this show. Then we do the research, and then we do the taping. That's off the grid. I mean, that's the dip. That's what you got to do to get through the dip. We let the passion of wanting to get this thing finished override all the inconvenience, the pain, the suffering that we were going through to make it happen. Another thing that you have to pull out from that is the fact that when you make a promise to yourself, Ms. Hunsberry, when you make a commitment to yourself, don't let the dip cause you to break it. Stay true to you. That's something that we say over and over again, and we're letting you know we walk by that. That's not something we're just telling you. It's something that we have to walk with, even when we have to take a beating to make it happen, Mr. Hunsberry.
Hey, that's all part of making it through that dip. You have to keep your eye on the prize, focus in on what you're trying to accomplish.
And Mr. Hunsberry, I mean, the thing is, I mean, what did you learn from last week when we had to go through all that calamity?
I mean, obstacles are going to be there, regardless.
Okay. Yes, sir.
The show must go on.
The show must go on, man. That is not just fiction.
That's not a cliche.
That's fact. The show must go on.
Life.
Yeah. Because, you think about it, Hunsberry, man, people are starting to depend on this programming that we're doing.
Sir.
And it's not only ourselves that we let down. It's our listenership that we let down if we don't stay committed to what we do.
And the people need to hear it.
They need to hear it.
And they need to have, a form to interact.
Yes, sir.
And contribute.
Yes, sir.
So
yes, sir.
It's important that we can't just lay down and say, oh, we'll do it tomorrow. No, it's not happening.
It don't happen that way. That's not off the grid.
It's not off the grid.
So the dip this episode is the fact that when you make a promise or commitment, don't let the dip destroy it. Stay true, especially to yourself. Stay true. The action step we're going to focus in on today is budgeting. Budgeting is a dirty word for a lot of people. But when you're doing this thing off the grid, you have to be committed to operate with a budget. This show is very young. We talked about the dip section. Budgeting was key. Budgeting is how we operate. And if you're going to do this thing off the grid, you have to operate with a budget. Now, what we want to focus in on today, though, is giving you a twist of how to operate your budget with an off the grid mindset. Now, let's go into a simple illustration, Mr. Marlin. Let's say, for example, you have $5,000 to do a single. All right. Okay. Now, when you do that, when you have the $5,000, you need to break that down into different components, and that's where the budgeting process comes in. So let's say that you have $1,000 that you're going to use to get the producer paid off. Let's say you're buying the track outright. In other words, all the paperwork, everything you need to get ownership in the track. All right. Let's say that costs you $1,000. Then let's say it costs you an additional $1,000 to record, mix, and master the song. That's okay. So now we're up to $2,000. All right. Mm-hmm. Now let's say it costs another $1,000, Mr. Huntsberry, to get the song manufactured and pressed up, which would include any cover art that you put together on it.
All right.
So now we're up to $3,000. Okay. Technically, this is off the grid for us. That means you have $2,000 left to market and promote the song. Okay. So that's a good budget. Now, but this is how the off the grid mindset comes in. At each one of those points that you have to spend money, the $1,000 to get the song, the $1,000 to record the song, get it mixed and mastered, the $1,000 to get the song manufactured and produced, the $2,000 that you have to use to market and promote. At each one of those stages, what you want to try to do is be creative so that you pay wholesale, Mr. Huntsberry, yes, and not retail on any of those price points. Right. Okay? And in doing that, you come up with any kind of strategy you can short of. Now, we ain't saying you break the law, all right? Yeah, everybody has to be above law. But you be as creative as you can in bringing those costs down. If that means you can work off a trade-off with somebody. Let's say you got a producer. He needs what you have. So you say, well, look, man, I'll give you a hook with no payment if you'll give me this track. It's all kind of things that you can do. There might be a service that you have that you can barter with. The whole key is try to get whatever that price point is, try to get it down so it's not as high. The other thing about off the grid that you want to try to do is you don't let the fact that you don't have all the $5,000 in place stop you. The budget just lets you know how high the mountain is you have to climb. Okay, but if all you have is $1,000, that's enough for you to get started, Mr. Huntsberry.
Yeah, you're gonna do this thing off the grid. You have to start where you are.
You start where you are.
Use what you have.
And you start making moves where you are.
Make lemonade out of lemons. You know what I mean? You can't let what you don't have stop you from doing something today.
Always keep it in mind that the next step, okay, I need to start thinking about the next step. You always anticipate, okay?
Playing chess.
It's playing chess, not checker. You thinking moves ahead. So that's key to an action step for you. You have to budget. Once you set the budget, then now there's an obligation that should kick in my mind, Mr. Huntsberry. Right. Because you've done the thing, we talked about putting things on paper before, but now you're actually putting numbers together and you can start thinking, okay, now I know Mr. Huntsberry, he's an excellent producer. Man, maybe I can get him to do a track for me, and maybe I can get him to give it to me at this price as opposed to his other price. Right. But what can I do? What can I give him to give him an incentive to do that? See, that's off the grid. You try to figure out, man, how can I make this thing happen? How can I make it happen and maintain ownership, Mr. Huntsberry? Yes, sir. Not sell out, because the key is nobody's going to save you.
Nobody's going to save you. Why? Because you don't need to be saved.
You do not need to be saved.
The power is within you.
Yes.
You are the one.
You are the one. All right? So, the action step for today is budgeting. Signing off from Resistance Headquarters. Stay tuned to this channel for the next episode.
What have you done?
What are you doing?
And what will you do for the movement?
We'll see you guys next time.
Thrive off the grid until you emerge to get back on the grid on your terms, if you so choose.